Greetings and salutations, everybody. My name is DarkHeadX1 here, and before we start, I'd like to apologize for the lack of uploads on Thursday, but I needed that day to think some things through. One of these things include my upload schedule. While I love pumping out videos just to show this stuff off and try and keep you guys somewhat entertained in this society, I'm not gonna lie, posting on Thursdays has been a hassle given I have programs on that day. So, I've decided to move it to Tuesdays like today because I have a lot more free time and it allows me more leeway to rest before recording. So I'm sorry for the delay, but this will be the new schedule. Every Tuesday, you'll get some Railway Series Customs, and it comes earlier, so it's a win-win, I think. It depends on if you guys actually do enjoy this or not. But anyway, aside from that ranting, let's get into the model. Now here we have Whiff. Whiff here is modeled after Northeastern Railway Class O, or more commonly known as the LNER G5 class, designed by our good old pal Wilson Worsdale. Now, I've come up with a little format on the fly here for how I'm going to go about this. I'm going to stick with three main points. Why did I choose this basis for Whiff, or this engine? What really inspired that decision? And also details of the model. Size comparisons are probably going to be left out of this one, but they will become, again, standard, even though they're already standard. But yeah, those are the basic points we're going to hit. So, why did I choose the Northeastern Railway Class O? Now, my reasoning for this is that, in actuality, Whiff is based off of a one-off 224 tank engine that was only good for, I believe, hauling inspectors' trains or general managers. I don't exactly remember, but I know that they weren't good for anything else but such work. If you ask me, that ain't an engine really worth purchasing for heavy work, which Whiff has been shown doing. So, I wanted to change it. And taking into account the Northeastern Railway origins, and the fact that in this universe it wouldn't make sense for the NDOR to go out of their way to rebuild engines when they already worked perfectly fine before, I've decided that they would settle instead on a Northeastern Railway Class O. His story's already up on Wattpad, so you can see basically how he got there, what year, and what his working life has been. But yeah, the pre-group of railways of the NWR needed a lot of locomotives, and he was just one of the Southern Rail's inquiries. Now then, in terms of other reasons for why, I believe that the G5 generally is a class that would be well suited towards Edward's branch line, given the fact that it's stated to have a lot of commuter trains, and Sudbury is basically the heart of the island when you take that into account, the name Sodor, Sudbury, Boof. So, it made more sense to have an engine that can do a lot of work, mainly suburban and light freight duties, rather than have an engine that can only haul an inspector's coach. So, the G5 is in, the X class is out. That's how we're doing things. And I guess to round things off, any details on the model you want to take a look at, you're free to look at it yourselves. He's one of the earlier models, as they were built in sequential rather than being rebuilt sporadically. So he's not exactly up to par with some of the others you've seen. But that doesn't detract from his value. His wheels are a bit off-centered, smaller, and side rods are a bit uneven. The top was relatively clean for the time of my modeling of him, but I couldn't get proper glasses to look on his face. Couldn't get the proper looks. So it looks like he's blind. But I might rebuild him. He's already basically been put up in my little to-do shed, which is currently atop my dresser. You shall not be allowed to see it today. Sorry. But if I am going to rebuild him, I think it'd be probably for the better to either decide on keeping the extended bunker, which I've modeled him with, or just rebuild him as like a fresh, no changes, O class, and update his Wattpad file. Personally, it'll come down to the stages of building what I get attracted to more. But let's give you the rotational shot. And as with all models, there is a little black nub for a radio. Now then, this has really been a very odd Road Series Cosmos for me, considering I'm used to doing them on Thursdays. But this has been Dark X1, and I shall see you next time. Have a good Tuesday.